Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Monday, November 25th morning pre-market analysis and trade plan setup. If you're new to us or watching this video on YouTube, this is Quantum Leap. We are a self-organized learning environment. We run a Skype chat room that's been around for about 4 years now. It's a private Skype room. If you're interested in checking it out, you will need a Skype address and Skype account. It's not hard to do. It's free. And then you can send me a contact request to Doug_McKay. I am the head moderator and founder of Quantum Leap, and I'll be the contact, Doug_McKay from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Or you can send me a email at dm@m4connects.com or call my office line at 519-250-5530. Please call me after market hours. What we do each morning is we come together and we take a look at where we are in the macro to the micro, see where we are within the overall trends in the different time frames, then do some in-depth chart analysis and set our levels up to trade for the day. I mainly trade the E-mini and gold. Before we get going, we need to do the disclaimer, so let's get that out of the way. This information is for the purpose of educating members who want to expand their knowledge of the business of trading. It's not for trading or investment advice. You and only you are responsible for the trades or investment decisions you make. Trading futures or any instrument involves risk loss. Please consider carefully whether futures or options are appropriate to your financial situation. Only risk capital should be used when trading futures or options. Investors could lose more than their initial investment. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own plan, do your own due diligence. Okay, so let's quickly go through and take a look at the numbers. Each morning, or each night, we put out what we call our QLTP, which is a ladder above the previous day close and a ladder below the previous day close, with all the different methodologies, the key levels that we look at based on the multiple methodologies. And this is not a trade sheet; it's a guide to give you an understanding of where others might be activating their trades. And this is put out into the Quantum Leap room each night. But where it comes from is this sheet right here, which is our data sheet. This is our homework sheet, Howard and I, and we've been filling this out for several years now. This is where we keep all our charts and look at the different levels that we're looking at. But the first thing I like to look at is to go through the key numbers, the macro to micro. Obviously, the key number now is that 1809.25. If you were here on Friday morning or any morning subsequent to that, the big target that we had above that measured move was 1808, 1809. We didn't quite, it was my target on Friday. We didn't quite get to it on Friday. And what did they do? And if you've been in our homework sessions for any length of the time, we know that there is a tendency lately for them to go and put all-time new highs in the Globex. And we opened on Friday night, and they took us up to opened up on Sunday night, and they took us up and hit that target at 1808, and then traded around it, hit the high of 1809.25, and we're currently trading somewhere around 1807. So that's the key number above us. Let's take a look at the intraday numbers. We opened on Friday in the Globex at 1793.25, had a high of 1796.75 and a low of 1792, and then we opened Friday's RTH session at 1794.75. We had an open auction in range, and we broke the IB to the one side, which was the top side. We did that on make and break, by the way. It was a normal variation day. Nothing really sticks out. I mean, the big number is going to be this 1800, which is also our 1230 number. You've got the RTH high from Friday at 1803.25, so the RTH range high for the prior trading day is 1803.25. You've got the close at 1801.25. So right now we've got about a 6-point gap that we have based on where we're trading right now and Friday's close. And then the VPOC is, at 1802.50, which is now a CHVN. We'll take a look at that on the composite charts. The other thing is that we are back into this trend higher, and our value area high and low were. I'm having troubles with my charts this morning. Sorry about that. The value area high at 1803 and value area low at 1796.50 was again higher. So we had this, one consolidation day, and then the value area high has been trending up, and this trend has been pretty strong, and we'll see that when we take a look at the other charts. On the daily report, currently with our full session high, which is just the Globex, and a full session low, which is Globex low, 1850. Our ATR targets above 1816.50. Our ATR target below 1793 and a quarter. We don't have any significant news. I think we've got pending home sales at 9 o'clock, so that's 30 minutes into the trading day. But other than that, we don't really have any scheduled news for the day. Let's take a look at where we are within the different time frames for trends. So always like to start with the macro. The monthly, of course, we've been talking about the fact that we have not had a close below the 20 SMA on the monthly in the last 2 years, and we have not had a close below the 9. We have not even traded below the 9 on the monthly all year so far, and here we are making new highs again. Going down to the weekly, same thing. We had the one close below the 20 SMA all year. We came back down when we had the government shutdown, but when they resolved that issue, we've gone parabolic. We've got good slope and separation on the 9 EMA and the 20 SMA, and prices paralleling the 9 quite nicely. Going to the daily, same thing. We have knocked this nice trend up. We do have a naked cross, but we're nowhere near it right now down here at 1687 and a quarter. But the trend has been very, very strong on the daily. We had a bit of a tech gap, closed it out, came and tested the 9 EMA, then bounced right off of it, and we're getting slope and separation. So the trend on the daily is still very strong. Let's take a look at the geometric chart. Our long-term fork that we've been watching for months, we've broken out of the upside of it again, and we're trading above it. Our fork that we added inside a few weeks ago, we're trading above the center line of that, and I added this modified shift fork early last week, and you can see that we've come down and we bounced off the bottom band of the upward sloping modified shift fork, and now we're coming up to test the center line. So we've rejected the center line of the midterm fork. We've broke outside of the long-term fork and are trading above the upper line, and we rejected the lower line of the modified shift fork that we put in early last week. So if to go up and test the center line of the modified shift chart, the newest fork that we put in, you're looking at somewhere around 1819. Of course, we've got an energy point above. I doubt we'll hit it because it's got a schedule to hit today, but you never know. If we really get a really blow off top, 1851 thereabouts, but that I find is a low probability. The bigger probability is this energy point right here that is dissecting almost all the lines, all the fork lines. You've got the middle line of the midterm fork, you've got the upper line of the opposing down fork, the upper line of the long-term upward fork, and the lower line of the modified shift fork. And that's got an energy point right here that's going to put us somewhere in around 1790, and it's it's scheduled to hit, within the nenext day or so. So that's the area that I'll be looking below. Of course, we've got the gap close at 1801.25. Let's take a look at where we are within the intraday trend and see how we're coming into this market this morning. I don't know why my charts are doing this. Just did an update on TOS and I'm sort of putting out the range out of whack. So on the 4-hour, we've got a naked cross down here at 1787 area, but we've got good slope and separation. We've got a bit of a tech gap going on against the 9 EMA. A close of that tech gap is going to bring us into that 1802, 1803 area, unless we just go sideways thereabouts, and we'll probably close it somewhere around 1805. But the overall trend is very strong on the 4-hour. Going to the 30-minute, we've got the gap up from Friday's close and Sunday's open. We created a tech gap. We've closed it through time overnight, and we're currently sitting on top of the 9 EMA. But we've got good slope and separation, but we do have some consolidation here. Going into the 5-minute. 5-minute doesn't tell us anything. We're basically consolidating sideways, and we've got ourselves a MA hug going on, which is a decision point. So we don't know exactly, which direction it's going, although we are trading below the 9 and the 20 right now. So let's take a look at the composite and where we are on the big picture and where fair value is. We created this micro-composite balance area over the last 6 trading days, and the most accepted price prior to the launch is down here at that 1788.50. We've broken out of this range, went up and hit our target. We got to 1803.25 on the RTH on Friday, and we've got a CHVN at 1802.50, which is also Friday's VPOC at 1802.50, but we're currently trading 1807.25 after hitting our main target above, which was that measured move up to 1808, 1809. So I would look for a rotation today. I think we're going to get a rotational day with a move back to test the range high at 1803.25, possibly come down to the 1802.50, and possibly close that gap at 1801. The big number and the line in the sand to look to get short is going to be below 1800. If we get below 1800, then I'd be looking for a rotation back down into the prior balance area. The value area high is at 1794. With a key CLVN. Remember how important that 1792.25, 93 area was for us all week. I think if we come down, get inside of the value area of the microcomposite, we get a rotation down to test this 1792.25 again. And there's where I think we'll get some strong support. But if we break through it, the big number below us is here at the 1788.50. So let's take a look at what's happened overnight. Move our numbers from Globex over to our intraday RTH chart. We've got the all-time high now and the Globex high up here at 1809.25. And we got the overnight low down at 1801. And of course, we've got the VPOC overnight, which is 1807. I don't think we'll get any shift of the VPOC. We've been pretty much finding value right there at 1807. So at 1807, we have a 5 3/4 gap from the prior trading day. Half gap fill is 1804 to 1805 area. So I'd be looking for a test there. I'm going to be looking to trade that 1805 area. There's not a lot to guide us here, so we have no price acceptance or rejection on the intraday RTH, and we don't have anything long-term in terms of the composite or the microcomposite. So you really got to be careful, and you've got to look to see how they're handling the inventory. You know, on the open, we're going to be opening out of range if we open here at 1807, so I'd be looking for initiative buyers stepping in, trying to take us up through to test that overnight high, get our equilibrium between the RTH and the Globex, which we've talked about before. You know, they keep putting in these all-time highs in the Globex, and then the RTH tends to go up and equalize them and trade those levels. Of course, we've got the rule of 10 playing into effect as well. We broke 1800, we held value above 1800, and the rule of 10, usually when you hit a key centennial number like that, they'll blow through up to 1810 area. So I'd be looking for initiative buyers to step in on the open as, for a possible move immediately to take out the overnight high and hit that 1810. That's where I anticipate some selling to come in, possibly a push through to that 1814, 1816 area, which we talked about would be hitting that next line on the upward sloping modified shift fork. But then I'd be anticipating sellers to step in, and my key hypothesis is to move on the open up to take out the overnight high, hit 1810, possible blow through to 1814, 16, then sellers stepping in, and a rotation down back towards the 1805 half gap fill, and then if we can get through there, they push down to test the range high at 1803 and a quarter. That will be another area that I'll be looking to do business between the value area high at 1803 and the range high at 1803 and a quarter. If we get inside of that, then we're back inside of value. I would be looking for a move down to that 1802 area, the 1802 being the naked VPOC with the push down to the close and the gap fill at 1801 and a quarter. The key LVN is going to be right here at 1850. You might as well call it 1800. That HVN from this distribution up here is at 1799.75. So I'll be watching to see how they handle this area between 1799.75 and 1850. So that will be another area that I'll be looking to see buyers trying to step in. And why won't this go in here? Buyers to step in and hold value above 1800. Of course, if we get below 1800, I'd be looking for a move down to that 1798 area, which is, this is a pretty messy looking profile. It needs a lot of repair. I'd be looking for a half back of the breakout candle, which will bring us down here to the 1798 area. That will be another area that I'll be looking to do business. And then if they push through, you've got 94 below us, okay, which was the open for Friday, and then the range low and that key CLVN, and a level that we traded all last week very successfully off of at that 1792 and a quarter CLVN, basically between 92 and a quarter and 93. But it is the range low, and I'll be trading off of that. And then below that, the big target below for me is going to be down here at 1788.50. And 1788.50 is the microcomposite VPOC that we, where we found value before going up and making that new high. And then the big target above for me, again, is up here at the 1816 area. But again, my main hypothesis is we open up, push a little higher, equalize the all-time and Globex high, rotate back down through to try to close the gap and test the range high and possibly get into the upper distribution with a push down to test that 1800. We've got a naked cross on the 5-minute at 1802, so that supports that hypothesis. and the naked VPOC down there. So there's some confluence down here between the value area high, the range high, the naked VPOC, the naked cross, and the open gap and the overnight low. So I'd be looking for us to grind our way slowly down there after pushing slightly higher. Let's take a look at the Keltner. We've got a center line on the Keltner at 1806.50. If we get above the center Keltner line, a push to test the upper Keltner channel will bring us up into that 1812, probably 1814 area by the time we get there. Test of the lower Keltner line will bring us down to close that gap and hit those targets down there at the 1801, 1802 area. Let's take a quick look at where we are in gold. Wrong gold chart. I don't have my gold chart open. All right, let's do this. Let's go over to you, Howard, and take a look at what you've got and what you're looking at, and then I'll wrap up and open my gold chart while you're doing that, and just take a quick peek before we shut and close the session down after you do your presentation.
Thank you, Doug. So taking a quick peek at the daily chart, you can see that our prior all-time high back on the 18th, we had a few days of retracement. We retraced back to a 9 EMA, challenged it, but rejected it twice. And since that rejection, we've had two strong up days working on a third. So now going over to our market breadth, we've been observing that in the middle chart we have our advanced declines on a 10-day average basis, NYSE in blue, NASDAQ in red, and in the lower chart we have up volume versus down volume. Also on a 10-day average basis, this line here represents the midpoint at 50%, where we have equal number of advancers and decliners. Same here with equal volume of up versus down. And we hit our low on these two indicators back on November 7th. The advanced declines made a double bottom there pretty much. But since then, market breadth has been expanding. But we can see overall, we made our peak back here on October 22nd, and price has been moving higher since then, but we have a lower high for. So at least for this interim time period, market breadth has been declining. What remains to be seen is whether this moved higher over the last week or so is simply a retracement of this weakening breadth, or whether we've actually bottomed and we're strengthening as the market moves and makes new highs. But for the time being, we have a non-confirmation between these indicators and price. So let's look at the sectors now. So generally the sectors have been moving higher recently. We have a couple of, well, at least one exception, home builders. The last couple of days have made a little bit of a retracement. Technology has been mostly flat. Utilities has been flat. But the others have been moderately higher. Retail's also moving a little higher, but maybe not as aggressively as some of the others have been. So general agreement among the sectors with some exceptions. For unbalanced volume. For unbalanced volume, you know, we have a little bit of a non-confirmation where we made a new high on Friday, but unbalanced volume did not make a new high, so slight non-confirmation there. So between this and the advanced decline and up-down, we'll see if the non-confirmations normalize themselves, or whether we're seeing a little bit of continued weakness that starts to form here. But otherwise, the market has continued to be strong and keep making new highs both in the RTH and in the Globex. So one last thing here, we have a new movement of traders report. All right, so from last week's report, we see that price continues to rise, and we can see that the small specs here in yellow have been mostly flat the last month or so. In the last couple of weeks, we can see the large specs in navy actually decreasing their long position. So they are just barely net long now. Small specs are just a little bit more net long, but not much. This line here is the break-even line between being long or being short net. The commercials have started becoming less short to pick up that slack. So price is going up. The large specs have mostly been following price action, but they seem to be moving away from it now. Small specs, wait and see. Commercials are getting more aggressive. So that's all I've got, Doug. I'll turn it back over to you.
Thanks, Howard. All right, so just taking a look at gold, we have a low overnight at 1226.90. The low is right at that former VPOC where we found balance prior at 1227 area. We came down and tested that area again, and they pushed through, and the value that held was down here at 1203.40. So they stepped in and defended the 1200. They pushed down to the 1180.60 before shooting back up and making that big rotation up. We're currently trading 1235.10. The targets below are going to be this 1232 CHVN, 1232.50 area, then 1227, and the low of the Globex here at 1226.90. If we break below that, I'd be looking for a further push down to 1215.50, but the big number below is going to be this 1203.40 and a test to the other side of that balance at 1200. Below 1200, I'd be looking for this 1170 area down here. I'm going to be doing some research today to look at bringing in some more volume on the long-term basis to change my composite start date. So I'll let everybody know what I do to change that. If we get back above this 1237, remember that 1237? It was a key level for us, a while back. If we get above it, the targets above are 1241 and 1246. 1246 being the balance where we are trying to hold value after breaking out of this balance up here. So we tried to hold balance at 1283. They came down, tested that 1268 area, pushed to the other side of balance at 1264.40, broke out of balance, came down, found balance down here at 1246 area. They fell out of balance, came down and tested prior balance, and they've now found value, and they're holding it in around this 1232, 1235 area. So if they get above 1236.70, which is the upside of the other side of balance, around that 1233-34 area, then I'd be looking for a move up to 41 and 46 as the main destination, with the other side of balance being at the 1251.20 area, again in the range high of the microcomposite. Now, if we get above that, then I'd be looking for a move into the 1258, 1260, 1268, 1270 area, with the big target above is still going to be that 1283. But I think we're going to chop around here and possibly push a little bit lower on gold to test the lows overnight today, and possibly come down into that 1215 area today. Anyway, that's what we're looking at. This is going to complete our morning market preview and trade level setup. Just a quick reiteration of my main hypotheses. We're currently trading 1806, 1807 area. I'd be looking for initiative buyers to step in, try to take us higher to test that 1809, 1810 level, have responsive sellers step in, push us back towards the 1805, half gap fill, and come down, push through to the 1803.25 range high, break into value and into the prior day range, come down to the 1802.50 and test and close the gap at 1801.25 and a test of that 1800 level. And then I expect us to chop around between the 1800 and 1805 area the rest of the day. If we do get initiative buyers stepping in, or we rotate back down to this 1805 and they step in down here and take us higher, I'd be looking for an upward target of 1810, and then 1814 to 1816 being the major area above, and the ATR range target above us. So that's going to conclude our session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.